Everyone, thank you for making time to meet the candidates. Um, it's great that we got a great turnout, and it's going to be great for you to hear from the candidates firsthand, kind of their priorities and what they're all about if you don't know them or haven't met them in the past. I'm just going to go over a couple of phone etiquette rules and norms for this call. Number one, we're going to start with the two VP candidates. Then I'm going to go to the deputy auditor who cannot be here today. She had a business emergency. She let me and Wayne know, but she did answer some questions we posed to her, and she is running unopposed. But we do have answers that she provided, which I'll share with everyone because we still have to have a vote, and she still needs 50 plus 1%. So we're going to ask the questions in alphabetical order to the candidates. So if your last name, sorry, Karen, I know you're going to be first when we get to you, but and then just to make it fair, when we ask the second question, we're going to go reverse order because we want to be fair. And then every candidate will have 1 minute to just say whatever they want about themselves, their priorities, or their vision, and that's how it's going to work. We are going to ask, like I said, two questions per candidate. Plus, at the end, we'll do a 1 minute, free speech, whatever you want to say. Do not ask any questions to any candidates until the very end, until everyone is done answering the questions from us. And the way it's going to work is I'm going to spearhead the vice president questions and share with you Jennifer Chun's answers. And then I'm going to pass it over to Wayne to lead the director questions and comments. And then Wayne will handle the Q&A at the end. Our goal is to make this call 1 hour. If it goes longer, then Wayne will be on it. I do have to leave after 1 hour for a business meeting, but Wayne is going to be on till the very end. So we're hoping to do it in an hour, but we'll see how it goes. Please, everyone, put your phone on mute out of respect for, disturbing anyone else who's answering a question. And then if you do have a question at the very end, you're going to press on the very bottom of your phone, of your screen, you should have that react button that has the heart. If you click on the react button, there is a line there that says raise hand. You're going to do that like Wayne just did. Thank you, Wayne. And then Wayne will take the questions in the order they show up on his screen with the hands up. And then when you're done with your question, there's a thing, Wayne, can you remove your hand? There you go. So it says remove hand or raise hand. So it should be pretty straightforward. That's how we're going to do it. And we're going to start right now. So here we go. I'm going to start, like I said, with the VPs. And again, since we're going in alphabetical order, Simeon, your name, M, comes before S. So we're going to start with you. So question number one to Simeon is, membership growth in the U.S. has been a key focus for Skal International. How would you balance the need to attract new members with ensuring that current members remain engaged and feel valued?
Thank you, Mark. Aloha, everyone. Good morning. Thank you for having this later for the East Coast people. I'm not sure if everyone has met me, but I am currently on the board, and Skal is just a big part of my life. So I'm so glad that I am a member as well as part of Skal USA. To answer your question, Mark, I believe that I have to base it on experience. I know Skal International is very in tune of making sure that we're known throughout the world, but with Skal USA. I think we need to do a better job. Experience in the way that I was president of Hawaii, and one thing that we do well is mentorship. Mentorship in the way that if you have members that's been in your club for a long time, they have all this experience and all this knowledge of Skal. And for Hawaii, we have many young Skals. And when we do mentorship, you basically take advantage of both. For us, we're one of the few clubs that have two boats. That means we have, well, currently right now, I believe we have 94 members. And then the big thing that we do here is to make sure that we work on retaining members that have great experience, but at the same time work with the young Skulls so that they can be young professionals and they can stay in the club and really benefit the club and really tell Hawaii what Skal is all about. But I think that's very important. Retention and getting new members, it really is the key. And our focus is always, give back to the community. So we do a big scholarship golf tournament, and from there we have a lot of the older Skal members that participate, but we get new members to really get interested. But I think that's very important, and I think that's something that I would stress in regards to making sure that we integrate the retaining members as well as getting new members. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Simeon, and thank you for keeping it under 3 minutes. I'll remind John and everyone else 3 minutes or less for your responses. And if you see me put the hand up, that means you got 30 seconds to go. So just as a reminder, John, ask you the same question. Membership growth has been a key focus for Skal International. How would you balance the need to attract new members with ensuring that current members remain engaged and feel valued?
Yeah, thanks, Mark. And again, thanks to everyone for tuning in today. I think it's a 50-50 split. There's as much emphasis on retaining members as there are bringing new members in. We work very hard to attract new members, only to find out after 2 or 3 years that we lose them for various reasons. But I think it's very important that at the national level, we keep the flow of relevant topical information, that what we're doing at our level, getting that out to the membership, the clubs, the members, what's going on through our monthly communiques like the hot hits and the webinars that we're doing. So again, get the members really engaged and in tune with what's going on. And then, from there, at the club level, I think it's even more important that the clubs really gauge the reasons why people are leaving. Are they, why did they join? Why are they leaving? And really ask those questions when people don't renew. So it's very important that, again, at the club level, and we, again, as Skal National, had the opportunity to work, each director, each member had an opportunity to work with 5 clubs this year. And it's really engaging those clubs at the board level and finding out what are they doing to keep the members up to speed, keeping them motivated, keeping things relevant there. So very important that, again, we engage the clubs and that we know what the clubs are doing and that the clubs at the board level, again, are staying engaged with their members, keeping them up to speed. One of the other things, too, that I think is very important is what goes on at the board level needs to filter down to the member level. So what do you discuss before that monthly meeting in your board meeting really needs to fall down into the club member, the actual member side, so that people can see what is the board working on, get them excited, get them engaged, and hopefully at some point get them on the board or get them involved in a committee and really make them feel like they're contributing. And again, we need to continue to identify who those members are and get them, again, engaged to go beyond the club level and become advocates for Skal. And hopefully those that we brought in are going to be bringing in new members in the years ahead. So that's very important. That's my response.
All right, John, thank you. That was good. That was under 3 minutes also. So appreciate that. All right, now I'm going to start with John on the second question. And I took a question actually that Wayne and I were going to ask the directors. So just want you to know that. But the question for you, John, first is, Skal USA's future depends on adapting to changing times. What new ideas or initiatives would you introduce in 2026 to enhance collaboration, communication, and the overall Skal member experience?
I think it's to kind of continue what we started in 2025, and that is to take our new website again, which is going to really help us not only draw new members to Skal, but also keep existing members engaged. The new website with the new AI driven search engine that's going to allow people to go to the website, put a question in, and pull down the information in short order. So we're gonna take that to the next level. It's also engaging those clubs to ensure that they are aligned with what we're doing at the national level from a website standpoint. So again, we talk about our house, how it has to be in order. We work very hard to draw people to our site and engage them, and it has to happen at the club level. So really ensuring that every club out there, those 35 clubs, and hopefully more down by this time next year, have a landing page, have a website in order to really tell the story and get people excited about engaging in Skal. The other thing too, I think is very important is, and again, this helps with other clubs and just maybe smaller clubs with the larger clubs, and that's doing a regional. We did a regional event this September, Skal Florida clubs, 5 clubs, and we also had members outside of Florida join us. That was a very important event. Then it brought people together, it engaged people, it got people to look beyond their club and to really learn more from what the other clubs are doing, and really create a sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, and create more of a sense that it's not just what's going on, let's say in Jacksonville or Naples, it's what's going on within the organization. And here I have new friendships, I've got new relationships, and I can build on and count on and lean on if I need those. That's it. That done in 3 minutes?
Sorry,
You're
Are
muted.
you guys?
you're muted, Mark.
Sorry.
Uh-oh.
Simeon, I'm going to ask you the same question. Skal USA's future depends on adapting to changing times. What new ideas or initiatives would you introduce in 26 to enhance collaboration, communication, and the overall Skal member experience?
Yeah, the best practices, I think we need to do a better job in really sharing best practices from one club to the other. I think, we have some great big clubs like Boston and New York and, Hawaii, and really sharing more of what we do so that other clubs can do that. And Mark, thank you for having the board have, 5 clubs that we work with closely to share those ideas, but I think we need to do more. I think AI is a huge thing. Some people use it better than others. And I think, if there's a struggling club, especially, if I want to be very specific, the West Coast, we have a lot of clubs that are really failing. And I think, we need to create it or rebuild it again. And why is that? And I think it's because they're not taking advantage. Again, it really is all about the future and finding and retaining members that have been there, but at the same time, finding new members. So I think we're on the right direction. The big thing is that we're going to have a new website. So we have to take advantage of that and really making it more useful. We have a new social media manager that we paid, but she's done very, very well in creating, web classes and to really engage the clubs to make sure that we post and tell her what's going on so that everyone knows about it within the community that they're in, as well as with the other states. But I think we need to take best practices of what we do. Again, I like matching clubs that are struggling with clubs that are doing really, really well. And again, mentorship is a big deal. But I think we're in the right direction of what we've done, and thanks to you, Mark, of what we're doing with Project Future, with all of that. but I think we need to take it a step further. I'm more of a big picture guy. I mean, I understand the importance of detail, but I think you need a vice president that can think about working with the president now, but really think about what's going to happen in 27. And our biggest thing is to maintain our membership to be one of the top. This year was kind of a struggle where India at one point was more members than we did, but we changed it around and we got more members, so we're number one again. We need to keep that. And the only way that we can keep that is retain members and get new members. But take advantage of what we have. I think AI is a big thing where there's a lot of clubs that are struggling to find members, right? So what is the biggest organization in your city? Especially when you put in tourism, what businesses are doing really, really well, and maybe there's new businesses that are coming up. So you can ask them for, hey, do you know anything about Skal? And if they don't, it'd be an association that they would be interested in and hopefully get more members. But we need to take advantage of those things that we haven't tried before. And I think that's where the future is going to go. Thank you, Mark.
All right, Simeon, thank you for that. I'm going to give John the next 1 minute just to tell everyone whatever he wants to talk about. But I just want to remind everyone, these are huge elections decisions, because whoever, as Simeon said, whoever is the vice president next year is the president-elect for 27, just as a reminder. So when you're voting for VP, you are voting for the future president in 2027. So John, you have 1 minute to share anything you want with the group about yourself, vision, anything. Go.
All right. Yeah, thank you, Mark. Guys, just to summarize again, I've had a great time as director of, I'm at the Skal national level. It's been a very busy year. I've been involved in the development of the new website, which I'm very proud of, working with Realign on that. And again, all the new enhancements, including the AI search engine, the producing the monthly hot hits, which I think is a very important opportunity for us to stay engaged with members on a quick hit basis every month. So we put that together and get that out. And then also working with Wayne, producing, and again, Wayne and I worked on that, and working with Wayne as well on producing and facilitating the monthly webinars. Again, some great content there that allows members to join in and ask questions, and then also at the same time have the opportunity to go back and review those at our YouTube site. And then again, just the opportunity to work with other clubs beyond the 5 that I had. The 5 clubs that I worked with this year were phenomenal. Working again with them individually, and then as a part of the Skal Florida retreat that we did back in September. A great weekend with a lot of great things that happened, both from a personal and professional standpoint. And again, we're looking forward to doing that again for 2026. And then working with New York on helping them get the word out on NASC 2026, pushing that out through Constant Contact. So again, I've loved everything I've done. It's been a labor of love. I do it for the organization. I have no ambitions beyond doing what I can do to make this organization a better organization. I'm toward the end of my career, and I'd love to see it end as president of Skal. Thank you.
All right, John. All right, Simeon, I'm going to give you the same. You can take a little bit extra time. John went a little over, but that's okay.
Okay.
Go ahead. That's all right. Go ahead, Simeon.
Thank you, Mark. My pillars are fairly clear and simple. I think I have a proven track record of leading a club with Hawaii, and hopefully I brought that to Skal USA. I think I understand the challenges and the opportunities that we have. I'm not afraid to ask the hard questions. The hard questions of, how can we get membership? How can we take advantage with Andres being president of International and being a stronger club? And we always have to tie in, Skal International with what the pillars are for Skal International. I'm committed to transparency and engagement. again, I'm more of a big thinker. I think about the future and what we need to do now to better ourselves for 27. And I look forward to that. And I know Wayne will bring it to another step, but the vice president is going to be really, really important to see what we can do and continue to make it even better in 27. Extensive executive tourism industry experience. I've been in the industry for over 40 years, and I've been with nonprofits as well. And there's, a lot of things that I've learned from other nonprofits that we can do here for Skal USA. Uh, Dedicated to the innovation, the future of Skal. Again, using our best practices with other clubs and use what we can with, what we know about AI. And again, active representation with Skal. Going to NASC, going to World Congress. I think that's really important. I think you need someone that has the experience in doing all that. But more than anything, I think it's just about the care of the colleagues and what the future is about. And the future is about growing membership. And we have great tools now with the new website. And again, I talked about our social media manager. And I think that's just the start. And we can do so much more in the future. If you, I know the website's going to come on hopefully soon. And in there, you'll have the candidacy, letter of why they want to be the vice president or be a director. Please look at those letters, look at the background, look at the nominations and see why you want to vote for that individual. It's important to get participation, and it's important that we get everyone active. So I appreciate your support, appreciate your time today, and I look forward to a better future for Skal USA. Thanks, Mark.
Thank you, Simeon. Well said, John. Well said. And again, appreciate both John and Simeon. I've had the honor of working with both of them for multiple years on the board, and I feel really great that Skal USA will be in great hands, whoever is nominated. So again, gentlemen, thank you for your time and for your great words. And I'm now going to move on. Again, Jennifer Chun from Hawaii put her name in for deputy auditor, but she, again, last minute business emergency. So I'm going to read real quick in the essence of time. She did respond to some questions we asked her. So here we go. First question was, you are running unopposed for deputy auditor, but members still want to understand your why. What motivated you to seek this specific role? What skills or experience do you bring that make you the right person to help safeguard Skal USA's finances and integrity? Her response was, I was looking for ways to become more involved with Skal USA without becoming a board member and still being able to support Skal Hawaii. I am good with numbers, and while not a CPA, I do have past experience working in public accounting, including working on forensic accounting projects. I feel that the deputy auditor position is a good fit for me because it offers the chance to work with the senior auditor and learn the ropes under their mentorship. So that was her response to that question. The second one was, as deputy auditor, you will be closely involved in reviewing Skal USA's accounts and financial processes. How do you plan to approach transparency, accuracy, and timely reporting so members can feel confident in how their dues and funds are being managed? Her answer was, I will consult with the senior auditor regarding the schedule and work with the Skal administrator to perform the work required on a timely basis. I will follow the established procedures to ensure transactions are accurate, checking invoices to bank statements to transaction documents, etc. I am not afraid to ask questions. That was her answer to number two. And then the last one was, beyond the basic responsibilities of reviewing financials, how do you see the deputy auditor contributing to better financial communication, risk management, and long-term stability for Skal USA in 26 and beyond? And she said, I would personally like to better understand the detailed financials of Skal USA. She said, it concerns me a little that we budget for a loss. That is not sustainable. But if Skal USA is to continue on, it needs to be financially sound. And while I cannot vote, I am not afraid to voice my opinion as appropriate when expenses do not make sense or do not benefit the organization. So those are Jennifer's three answers to those three very tough questions. And again, she is going to try to maybe join us at the end of this call. Not sure if she will, but if she does, you could definitely ask her questions directly. I am now going to introduce Wayne Lee, Vice President, President-elect for Skal USA, and he's going to lead the questions for the directors. Mr. Lee.
Thank you very much, Mark, and hello, everyone. So I'm going to have the luxury of talking and asking questions to the directors who are running for the director spots that we currently have available at Skal USA. And just as Mark said at the beginning, please try to keep it to 2 minutes, 3 minutes per answer, and then 1 minute when we get to the end for your outgoing message. And we will go in alphabetical order. So we're going to start off from Club Miami, Karen Anderson. Here's question number 1. So if you can unmute yourself. Skal USA continues to evolve as a membership-driven organization. What inspired you to run for director, and what makes you the right candidate to help lead Skal USA into 2026?
Thank you all. First of all, congratulations to the other 2 VP. You basically say what the membership person director should do. I think, in my opinion, honestly, since this is a 1 or 2 years position, this should be a full paid job by somebody, maybe even external, because this is so crucial for Skal to grow and keep the members. For example, for me, it was like on the beginning when I was a new member, what is the mission of Skal? Yes, friendship. Yes, we connect and have networks, but the mission should be brought up a little bit more. And also, I think for one person to cover 35 clubs, I think is a bit too much. Since there are 3-4 people who want to run for director, I think this could also be split up in West, Central, and East part of the USA. So we have a more efficient and more direct support group. And I love Skal International. What I've seen during my presidency, we worked very hard. The team here, we were close to 80 members. And then once I left with all the enthusiasm, all of a sudden we down now after 3 years down to 20 people, members. So what's happening that this is not continuously successful once somebody really tries very hard to build up their clubs? And in my opinion, we need to find a mission. We need to find out why former people left, and maybe even think about to have somebody who does a full marketing and sales position and being paid. And in that moment, because to me, I think this is the most crucial director job, membership. If not, maybe in 3-5 years, it's shrinking and shrinking. I would love to support. I have a company, we're very active. I'm also a board member of the Swiss American Chamber. I'm from Switzerland, a lot of international groups coming. But I think this position might even be split up in 2, if not even 3 people. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Karen. So continuing on, we're going to ask the same question next. This goes to Alan Carr from Skal, Kansas City. Alan, Skal USA continues to evolve as a membership-driven organization. What inspired you to run for director, and what makes you the right candidate to help lead Skal USA into 2026?
Thank you for the opportunity today. I haven't had a chance to interact with a lot of you, so I'll just give you a little background on myself. I'm from Kansas City. I was a Kansas boy. I'm with the tourism office in Kansas City, Kansas. We're the smaller Kansas City. We're an office of 8 people with a $2 million budget, and I oversee our office. I've been very involved in a lot of areas of the tourism industry. I started with an airline. I was with an ad agency that did marketing. My background is marketing and PR, and I'm really a strategic planner. That's really what my kind of superpower is. And when I think about Skal, I think of why I joined originally. I was working for myself, doing some strategic marketing work for small destinations across Missouri and Kansas. And I was a one-person office, and I was looking for some camaraderie in the tourism industry. And some of the folks I knew invited me to join, and it became this network of folks that I had to interact with in tourism that do kind of what I was going through that I wasn't getting in my daily life. And I think that for me, Skal in the beginning, the first couple of years of my membership was just all about uh, those local meetings. I had very little understanding of what Skal USA or Skal International was. I was asked to join our board, and for the last 5 years, I've been on our board. I've been our chapter president for the last 3 years. And I got a chance to go to the Congress in Mexico City, and that really opened my eyes to what Skal is as an organization. And I think the thing that I realized is that Skal is not the same thing for everyone. We're not a one size fits all organization, and so I think our approach can't be a one size fits all. We have to kind of look at who it is that are interested and why people are interested in joining us, and develop strategies to attract those folks. Whether you just want to be involved in your local organization, whether you're looking for camaraderie, whether you're looking for connections or to sell your product. And so I think that's one of the things that I can bring to the organization, is that strategic planning background to help us really look at and identify how we can build a playbook to help get more interested in more people interested in joining Skal and being more passionate about Skal.
Thank you very much, Alan. Same question, Lori Knight from Club Boise. Skal USA continues to evolve as a membership-driven organization. What inspired you to run for director, and what makes you the right candidate to help lead Skal USA into 2026?
I don't know if I see Lori on here.
She was on here earlier.
Oh, was she?
I thought so.
If you want to move to the next person, I could reach out to her.
Yeah, please do. Thank you, Mark. So
Okay.
we'll hopefully get Lori back. So this same question, Skal USA continues to evolve as a membership-driven organization. What inspired you to run for director, and what makes you the right candidate to help lead Skal USA into 2026? We have from Club Las Vegas, Bianca Mora.
Hi, everyone. Thank you. Where do I begin? I'm a little nervous, so please bear with me. I've been with Skal a little over 10 years now, and I have had a commitment working for over 15 years in tourism experiences here in Las Vegas and through the state of Nevada. How I feel I benefit, well, let me just touch on a couple of things. I love right now how we've been engaging in creating tools for our members with the webinars, AI, the website, and all that kind of stuff. I find that my priorities here have been enhancing member value, strengthening collaboration between our clubs in hospitality and tourism here, and building relationships with our clubs across the U.S. through Skal, and really just expanding Skal's influence, not only through Las Vegas, but in the state of tourism, and then across when I'm traveling, in the United States. I think a lot of it is on my end. What I like to bring is, building meaningful connections through our clubs and through our communities. My background is in nonprofit. My background is in tourism. So a lot of the time I take the elements and the things that I learn and we use in those different organizations and apply it through Skal here. We've been able to, sustain our membership and add more. We are one of the smaller clubs. We're not as big as New Orleans or Boston or New York, but we're doing our best here by acknowledging our colleagues and engaging them not only through face-to-face engagement, but using AI as well to engage and talk to them about Skal and the benefits and how they can utilize benefits. And I liked how Alan said that it's not a one-size-fits-all, because what works for me is not going to work for somebody else. And so a lot of the times I like to listen to what my colleagues' needs are, or what they're looking for in their business and growth and expansion. And so listening to them, collaborating with them, and finding the niche and the spots in Skal that may enhance their time with Skal, whether it's business related, networking, friendships, and all that type of stuff. So, did I answer your question?
I believe so. Thank you very much, Bianca. We're going to stay with you, by the way. So now we're going to come
Go ahead.
back and round off the curve here with question number 2. So, Bianca, some clubs are flourishing while others are facing challenges. How would you, as a director, work with the executive board and club presidents to help these clubs stabilize and succeed?
Um, I'm really big on communication, and I've seen that in the last presidency with Mark. Thank you so much for opening that door of, or that line of communication. Um, I'm really big on calls, Zoom calls, and face to face. And so I think it's really important to have that membership engagement, to have proven leadership with your own members. Is that my question? Can you say the question again?
Yep. I'm sorry?
Or what was the question again? I
So,
lost track.
yeah. So the question was, some clubs are flourishing while others are facing challenges. How would you, as a director, work with the executive board and club presidents to help these clubs stabilize and succeed?
So, taking our own playbook here in Vegas, and I have had an opportunity before in the past to be part of a committee that calls out to the club members. I guess during COVID, and I think that was very important. It's just staying engaged with them, and then, like I said, it's listening to them. What have they been working on? What's not working for them? As someone who does travel throughout the United States and North America, I find I connect with other colleagues and listen to their roses and thorns, and see how it applies to maybe our club, and then speaking to the other clubs and finding out what their goals are. I mean, we kind of have the same mission and vision across for Skal, but it's really finding out each individual's struggles and finding the solutions, applying what we have learned successfully, and learning from the other clubs that have done things successfully, and see if those are applicable to the other clubs across the states.
Excellent. Thank you. Thank you very much, Bianca. So, Mark, I guess we have not heard from Lori, so I'm going to skip Lori here now again, right? And go to Alan Carr from Skal, Kansas City with question number 2. Alan, some clubs are flourishing while others are facing challenges. How would you, as a director, work with the executive board and club presidents to help these clubs stabilize and succeed?
Yeah, thank you. As I've thought about this, I think, as I said before, I think this isn't a one size fits all. I think different clubs have different issues. I think that to be a successful club, you need to have good leadership. You need to have leadership that can move the club forward. But you can't just have good leadership. You have to have a champion. You have to have someone that will be a champion, that passionate advocate for Skal. And it's sometimes hard to find those people. And if you do, you can't just be a passionate advocate. You have to have the time to do the work. And I feel like in a lot of cases, that's where things fall down in our local clubs, is we just simply get too busy in our primary jobs for some of this stuff. And so I think helping clubs figure out how to best utilize those resources and find their champions, creating a playbook for clubs to be able to do that, I think is really important. But I think there's another issue that's bigger and more systemic that I think Skal USA needs to work on, and that's really growing the relevance of Skal. I think when I think of other organizations in our industry, they have a higher profile than Skal. And so I think there's a really important job that we have to raise the profile of Skal as an organization and make it more relevant to the tourism folks in our communities, to make them want to join and want to be part of that. And the final thing I would say is, I think getting businesses on board with this, one of the biggest challenges we have, we can recruit potential members to come to our dinners. We sometimes struggle with getting them to join because the business won't pay their dues. And so I think making sure that businesses are on board with understanding how important Skal can be to their employees, so that they will be willing to write the check for those dues, is something that's really important as well for the local clubs.
Great. Thank you, Alan. And same question for Club Miami, Karen Anderson. Some clubs are flourishing while others are facing challenges. How would you, as a director, work with the executive board and club presidents to help these clubs stabilize and succeed?
Alan made a very good point. First of all, what is really our mission? What do we want to accomplish? And look, a lot of those other associations, SIDE, MPI, HSMI, etc., we need to compare ourselves a bit with them. Some of them, like a SIDE, for example, they have a certification which counts in the travel hospitality industry. We have nothing towards this, which counts as a physical paper, not a PhD or whatever, but just to say something. So it makes sense that they join us. And then also, like, we need to get away a little bit from this sit down drinking, whatever, but more for active. I'm a member of the Swiss American Chamber, where we do like the Honolulu Club golf tournaments, which we bring in other businesses as well. And then also like community engagement, beach cleanup, Thanksgiving food. I'm just a little bit more active than just a network and sit down dinner. We have to do a little bit more creative in our events. Wherever we are in the US, in the nation, there are so many nice places where we, in Orlando, we can go to a little fun park. In Honolulu, we go to maybe a bay cruise and so on. Break it up and make maybe every other or third event a so-called educational. People want to take away something, not just sit there and drink and talk to the same person. It needs to be a little bit more, is it a professional club or is it a social club? So maybe we have to distinguish a little bit more in our events, what it is and how much it should be, and what kind of benefits can we add a travel certification to it? Can we maybe do that with another association and bring some more value to it? And again, I think this is such a big job alone to handle this. I'll be again happy to support, but I don't know if this is possible for one person to cover 35 clubs within 1 or even 2 years of directorship. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Karen. So now we'll take about 1 minute, although it was 2 minutes prior, but up to 1 minute, 1.5 minutes for each candidate to discuss anything that they want, but maybe something they didn't have time to say in their previous questions, etc. And part of your closing remarks. So we're going to kind of mix it up here. We're going to lead off with Alan this time from Club Kansas City. So Alan, anything you want to say in your parting ways for the day?
Yeah, again, thank you for the time and consideration here. I have been on a number of boards. I'm currently the president of our Kansas Tourism Association. I was on the Midwest Travel Journalists, working with travel writers. I was on their board, and a couple other boards. So I have good experience understanding how boards work and how we can move initiatives forward. I am an idea guy. You give me a problem and I will find solutions. And so I would look forward to bringing that to Skal. As I said, I see raising our profile, increasing our relevance, getting businesses on board as key initiatives. One thing I would love to see us do is create member interest profiles. So understand why people are joining and what they're interested in so that we can better target those folks. And so those are just a few things that I would hope to bring to the board if I was elected as a director. Thank you very much.
Great. Thank you, Alan. We're going to move on to Club Las Vegas. Bianca, would you like to say any closing remarks? And you're muted. All good.
No, I think anyone that knows me, especially here in the state or town, I'm super passionate about tourism and travel. I sit on as vice chair for the state of Nevada for Southern Nevada Tourism. And so our job is to create itineraries for travel leaders to create some sort of economic footprint in our rural communities. So I'm super based in working with our communities and our members. Enhancing membership is something that is really important to us. Strengthening our collaboration amongst clubs here. We actually do an annual event that's happening in December. Is that my phone ringing on my computer? It is. Where 7 of the top hospitality and tourism associations get together, and we all collaborate and share ideas. We've done a round table event as well, so that we work closely with each other to find out what our needs and wants are. Ultimately, my focus is going to just be building more of a connection and more an informed and energized Skal USA through our practices and through our past successes and failures to, hopefully encourage innovation and just make sure that Skal remains a vibrant and inclusive and also a forward-thinking organization that can reach not only our current members, but new and loyal members for the future at every level. Thanks.
Thank you, Bianca. And then finally, Karen Anderson from Club Miami, closing remarks.
So what I would see for Skal USA, first of all, maybe one big LinkedIn, which is called Skal USA. Not everybody, I know, John, you said you have a new website, but do one big LinkedIn, one big Instagram, and Ashley can just say, here's what Skal Honolulu is doing, Miami, New York, etc. And maybe pass this on to some other travel and association in the industry. So we grow to 3,000, 5,000, and so on, more members on our social platform, because as more people attend our social media, as more people get interested in it. So it's not just a home-cooked little Miami club, right? And then also, both of you very right, Alan and Las Vegas Club, benefits. What can we get out of it? Are we a professional club? Are we a social club? What is our what do we want to really get out of Skal at the end of the day? So again, I see we need a plan, a growth plan, and where it says a little bit also to the young people, like, well, we have here, let's say elderly members, but they're very well connected and they can help you with internship, with the first job, instead of sending out hundreds of CVs and resumes to companies. So I would like to see a little bit more of an international USA social platform, and also point out what are the benefits, what you get out of it. Not just like, yes, drinking and we help you locally, but nationwide, so that young people say, once I move from Miami to New York to Honolulu, hey, can they help me with new jobs, etc. So thank you very much. You're all so great. I admire you.
Great. Thank you very much, Karen. Mark, we have Jennifer here. Would you want to say a few words with her?
Hey, yeah, sure. Hey, Jennifer. Just so you know, I let everyone know that you had a conflict, so I already told everyone that, and I also read your answers. I read your answers to the question, so everyone heard your answers as well. But I do want to give you your 1 minute to let everyone know just about you and anything else you want to say that people don't know about you, about your passion, your interest, your vision for if you become deputy auditor. So I'm glad you joined. Thank you.
Hi, thanks, Mark. And I appreciate that you read that, because I didn't actually think I would be able to join. So my apologies for joining late. So for those of you who don't know, I was past president for the Hawaii Club for 2 years, including the year that we hosted NASC in Hawaii. I've been the Skal USA representative since then. And I'm very passionate about our club and our work with our Skal students. So one of the things I was looking for is how could I become more involved with Skal USA and still support the Hawaii Club, because I believe the auditor position as a non-voting position, has that ability to support. And so we also have 2 people, right, that are looking to support Skal USA, and Simeon is on the board. We can't have 2 people from the same club on the board. So this is my way of giving back, because I feel that Skal has been important for me in Hawaii. I've enjoyed meeting all of you at NASC and working with you, and that's it for me in a nutshell.
Thank you, Jennifer. Really appreciate it. And thank you again for making the call. I'm glad everyone got to see you who didn't know you and just hear your 1 minute spiel. So that was important. So thank you. I'm now going to turn it back to Wayne to coordinate the Q&A for any of the candidates that you heard from earlier today. Wayne?
Yes, thank you, Mark. So anybody who has a question for all of the candidates or a particular candidate, again, just raise your hand, and I'm going to go in that order on my screen. So when I call your name, unmute yourself and ask your question to the individual or individuals. So we're opening it up now, and we have the first coming from Club New Orleans, Stu Barish.
Good afternoon, everyone. Just curious, this is for all the directors that are on. How many NASCs have you all attended? You can each answer individually.
Myself, I've attended 7 NASCs and 1 World Congress.
I've been a member for 9 years. I've attended one. We do have a Skal USA rep, and so their duty is to go to that. So I have only attended one in Mexico City in 2023.
Same here, because only the president is allowed to go in Miami. So yeah, I go locally, be it in Florida, Chicago, of course in Switzerland and so, but normally the president has the right to go and be paid.
Thank you.
Sorry, as a club, we do an auction every year so that we can raise funds to send our members to NASC. So we provide a stipend to make sure not only the president, which our president prior to me never went, and so people, members and board members are able to participate in NASC.
I should also say that I was part of the World Congress 2019. I was a board member since 2018 when we had the World Congress in Miami on the Royal Caribbean with over 450 members plus families up to 750 members. And of course, I was in operation on the ship and afterwards vice president and 2 years president, Club Miami. I also won the world membership, the most members acquired. And as Las Vegas, and we all say it, we go handshake, 1-to-1. We bring the events to our Skal members, not to Marriott Hotel if they're not member. But so we try to support our members with events and of course with business. I have Skal members from Halifax to Acapulco who work for my company as independent agencies. And so yeah, I tap into it, but I think it's a big undertaking for one person to be a membership director. And I would love to support whoever will win and maybe even to draw that in. Don't we have money to have somebody professional for consistent 2-3 years to build up a really profound platform to say what are the benefits? And I look at Site Miami. They have an administrator who gets $500 to $900 paid a month just to do for the local chapter, and they're probably only 20 members, but it works and it feels like somebody's there. You can constantly ask. And I'll be honest, if I have my company with 30 folders on my table, do I touch that first and make money, or do I touch my Skal where I volunteer? Just throwing that in, for thought for the new vice president and board to say, should we maybe focus on a paid position for Skal USA for a couple of years and have somebody sales and marketing? So sorry.
Thank you, Karen. Any other questions? I don't see any hands being raised here.
No, but I'll add to your, Karen. That was an amazing World Congress, and that was my first World Congress. The experience from Miami, it was fantastic. So kudos to you. It was absolutely wonderful.
So, Mark, I think we hit under your 1 hour target by 1 minute. So
yeah, I'm not sure how that happened, but all the stars aligned, and we ended up at just about an hour. So I will thank everyone, starting with the nominees. Thank you for your time. Thank you for your words of wisdom. Thank you for all the clubs showing up to be engaged and show your interest in in who's going to be leading Skal into the future. And again, I think we have a great crop of nominees, so we're very blessed. And don't forget to vote. I think the vote is taking place. I think it's December 1st and 2nd, that Monday, Tuesday. And if you do have, any questions, obviously you can, reach out on your own. But just very excited about the future and just want to once again tell you that it's been an honor for me to lead Skal USA this year, and I'm very excited to pass the baton to Wayne as my VP. And I see Nora has a question, so I'm gonna defer to Nora. So there you go, Nora.
I'm sorry, I'll keep it very quick. Kieran was talking about this possibly being a multi-person position. Is that something that's already in the works, or is that something that she's just putting out there for future votes?
So real quick, so the elections are for director positions. Each director is actually assigned a role by the president. So what would happen is Wayne will work with the winning directors and he will decide, just like I did this year, as to who will lead the financial, who will lead the marketing, who will lead membership. In the past, they like back when people would apply for VP of membership or VP of administration. We don't do that anymore with the new governance. It's the directors and then the vice president and the president. So Wayne would be the person who would assign the person to be in charge of membership. Now, to Karen's point, if Wayne and Skal USA and the board, I think it would have to go through a vote, but if they wanted to put money aside, they would have to vote on that, put money aside for a membership director leader, like Karen was saying, like a professional person. That would be something else separate, like from the board. That would be a hired person, but there will be a director overseeing the membership effort, and that would be Wayne's decision to do that as the incoming president.
And
Thank you.
if I could just
Yeah.
add on to that real quick. I mean, we do have an RFP out there for our admin position because that's been done by an individual for the past 3 or 4 years. So we needed to update the actual scope of work, kind of modernize it, So so that is out there. I hope that many of you have seen it, read it, or passed it on to maybe a fellow colleague that it would fit well. But we have grown that position as well. So it does include, having some marketing experience. It does include having some event management experience and some other types of experiences that it didn't have before, because we're trying to make that role a lot more than what it has been in the past, instead of just pushing buttons, et cetera, because it's evolved into that, as we continue to grow and want to continue to grow into this world that we are in. We need to think differently, as you all spoke to today, so. That's it.
No, it's great. Any other last minute questions? Wayne, you want to have the last word? Anything you want to say?
Nope, I'm good. I'm good, Mr. President.
All right, everybody, thank you so much for a great meeting, and don't forget to vote, and we'll talk to you soon with the results. Thank you. Have a great, happy holiday. Good morning. We are here today with Lori Knipe from Boise, Skal, and we are going to ask some questions so you can get to meet another candidate who is bidding for a director position for 2026. So, Lori, I'm going to go right into the first question. And the first question is, Skal USA continues to evolve as a membership-driven organization. What inspired you to run for director, and what makes you the right candidate to help lead Skal USA into 2026?
Well, I've been a member of Skal Boise for the last 15 years, served on every position on the board in our organization. I think that my role is in the leadership roles that I've served have been really successful. We are a smaller club. Again, that's kind of another reason why I'm very passionate about getting onto to the USA Board of Directors to represent some of our smaller Skal clubs. We have been around since 2002, continued to grow our membership. We, as many other groups, have lost some members, but we still continue to add more. And so I just feel like with my year of representation from the as the SIUSA rep is coming to an end, I think it's a great next step for me to continue into this organization that I feel like I've become a part of. So I think that's pretty much sums it up.
Okay, that's fine. I will ask you the second question. which is some clubs are flourishing while others are facing challenges. How would you, as a director, work with the Skal Executive Board and club presidents to help these clubs stabilize and succeed?
I was thinking about that the other day when I read that question, and I feel like obviously gaining new membership is super important to all of the clubs across the country. Uh, Sharing best practices is always a great thing. What's worked, new ideas. I think we, as a whole organization, should really, we all know what hospitality and we all know the hospitality group, but I think there's so many other aspects to hospitality that aren't part of Skal that, some sharing some new ideas of where to find some new members. Like you said, they talk about Skal, young Skal. A lot of members are aging out. We've noticed that in our group, that we don't have a lot of that young membership. So growing that is really important, and going after those, like all of the things that you guys have been doing to add universities and try to get this young Skal. I think that there's so many ideas and other places to attract members that can really benefit, whether it be a director of a fair or there's so many different places that we can really extend hospitality to. So I feel like we can be by sharing best practices and maybe having partner clubs and like this is maybe go look at this part to attract some new members. So,
All right. Good answer. And I want to give you your 1 minute to discuss anything that you didn't bring up in either question or, didn't have time to, or something you just thought of, or something about yourself, your club, your accomplishments, your attendance, World Congresses, NAS, anything you want to talk about that you think would be pertinent, that the audience, which is all the Skal clubs, would want to know about, Lori.
So when I very first joined Skal Boise, we hosted NASC here in Boise, which was 16 years ago. We tried really hard this year to get you to come back, but we'll keep trying. It just brought such a whole new aspect and about what Skal represented, and just seeing everyone from the whole North American Skal Club and getting to know that. I wanted to know more and to do more for the club. One of the things that we talk about is best practices is like doing business with fellow Skal leagues and friends. And I think that maybe that could also be a really great focus for retaining new members or having people go, why should I join Skal? Is sharing some of those best practices or some of those success stories that you've done business with someone and it's how much it's helped you, or you were in a bind and needed to reach out and there was a Skal league that, hey, maybe they're a rental car and you're stuck somewhere. I feel like we could really grow by sharing some of the success stories and people seeing, oh, this is a way that would really benefit my membership, not only getting to know people around the country and around the world, but I think probably starting to share some of those business success stories of business with friends would be a really great thing to add to Skal.
Perfect. Lori, again, thank you so much for taking time today. I think your comments, your answers, everything, will resonate with the clubs watching you. And, best of luck to you for the nominations and the elections. And the elections will be on December 1st and 2nd, I believe. So it's going to be next week. It's going to happen quickly.